Hey guys, just finished watching DC's Legend of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 13, No Country for Old Dads. This episode was interesting. This dealt a lot with the whole Dark's family and Ray being part of that. And it was interesting with that, and it was nice the way things were going with this. But now that we have Wally West involved, and he's brand new to the team and stuff, or at least he is brand new in the show, into the episode, it would have been cool to see him a bit more in this episode. But for what it was an interesting episode. I mean, at the beginning, we see Ava is still on the Rave Rider with Sarah and stuff. We get the message from Ray that was kind of sent. Ray sent a message to everyone that he was told to do that for Dark. And it was to send the Legends off on their own path, which I don't know why he ended up saying that, just for them to realize, like, oh, he's there, rather than if they had just not said anything, they never would have realized that he was even gone. They would have been done anything. I don't know why that message was even used at the beginning of the episode, because the Legends never go anywhere to even look for Ray. Nate looks through time a little bit, and then they just kind of happen to hear an anachronism at the end, and that's when they go and look for him. They never really took the time to actually go and look for him or do much to really find him or anything like that. So it was cool seeing Wally West and Rip Hunter show up, in the Rave Rider and all that stuff. The Ray gets forced kind of to try and fix the fire totem, and that doesn't work. They got to go get the scientists from the past and stuff. And there's at some point, sometimes Amaya's hair sometimes starting to look a little fake and stuff. It looks kind of weird. It looked obvious, like it was kind of a wig. So hopefully they can go back to her real hair color or something, or real hair, because it looks kind of silly, the wig, because it looks like it's clearly put on top of her head. Everything looks kind of weird the way they're doing that. And Wally ends up tries to help Amaya meditate, but then he says something, ends up calling her a bitch and stuff, and then kind of, for messing up with Nate and stuff like that, and makes a mistake, and doesn't realize it was her who broke up with him, and then kind of just bails on the whole helping them with the meditation, which would have been cool to see him do that, and maybe see him using his new skills that he has, his meditation and stuff, and it would have been cool to see that. But then it was kind of like, okay, well, now he's not here. I don't know why they weren't, he wasn't used to do that. He just kind of wasted that time. And then we find out that Dark was a hitman as a kid, his younger version of himself was a hitman, and Sarah and Ray are sent to go back and stop him from killing the guy, so they can use him to get the cold fusion notes and stuff. And Sarah Dark loses her magic temporarily because she's still like wonky left over from when Ray shot her with the anti-magic gun. And Dark has to go down and save them. Young Dark ends up capturing her. Then we get the scene with kind of Dark versus Dark, as Dark's trying to capture his daughter, is trying to keep on picking her up. And every time that was going down, especially when he first caught her the first time, I kept on thinking of Gwen Stacy as in Spider-Man type thing, the whole snapping of the neck type thing. Every time someone gets picked up like that, I always think of Spider-Man killing Gwen Stacy. And I didn't think that they were going to do that in this storyline. Because literally it's his magic. He can pick up the whole body of her. Instead of just grabbing her, he could just pick up her whole body and not let her neck do that. So that was kind of interesting the way they did that, but they didn't go with the dead storyline. And then she ends up finding the connection to Amaya's totem, which ends up, which they find out that is kind of, corrupting the totem the more she's able to do that. And then Ray ends up breaks time by shooting the Berlin Wall, and Wally ends up going to save him. And then then at the end we get Grodd attacks the Time Bureau, making Ava the highest member of the Time Bureau type thing. Which I don't understand if Rip Hunter's the founder of the Time Bureau, wouldn't he have made himself the highest member of the Time Bureau? I guess maybe they overruled him or something. Why didn't he put something in so that he's always in charge and no one can overrule anything because he's in charge no matter what? I think that would have made more sense. That's what I would have done, to put something like that. But I guess he had to put a failsafe in case he ever turned or something. But yeah, Grodd attacks and kills everyone else. So there's only Ava left, probably setting up for something coming up. I feel like it's a bit early though in episode 13 if we have like 7 episodes left if we're going to 20. Where things are going to go with that. Now they don't have the whole Time Bureau to kind of back them up. Where things are going to go. That's really going to be fun to see that. I would have liked to have seen. It would be cool to see more of Grodd and kind of see where things are going with that. That'll be quite fun to see him throughout the show as things continue on. And then we get that Wally joining the Legends. He wasn't sure about it. He was almost not going to do it. He's going to go join the Time Bureau and stuff. And but then Sarah to kind of convincing him to stay, and that was really cool with that. The way she was able to convince him, it was a great speech and stuff. How she kind of explained how everyone's a mess on the team. You know, every legend member is a mess, just like him. So join it, and that would be cool. Which keeps on reminding me of, you know, it would be cool to see other characters, maybe even Guardian, Jimmy Olsen over on Supergirl. He'd be great to join here. You know, learn some fighting skills, because the only fighting skills he has is a few things he's done here and there. He doesn't have actual training. You know, if Guardian went against Sarah type thing, she'd wipe the floor with him. Anyone really would wipe the floor with him, because he has very little training, very little experience as fighting and stuff. So I think it would be cool to see him joining the Legend. Would be great there, and also seeing someone like over on Arrow, maybe some of those characters, Wild Dog, Mr. Terrific, Black Canary. You know, I think what's going on right now over on Arrow and how things are going. A little bit, you know, with the whole, you know, Black Siren and Canary and those storylines and the feud and the splitting of the teams. Maybe some of those guys can take a break from Oliver and the rest of the team by coming on to Legends. That would be really cool. I think having Dinah on there would be really cool for that. I think it would be really interesting to see the dynamic between Dinah and Sarah, how that would work out, and, you know, having the same powers as her sister type thing, and how would that play out. And I think it could be quite cool to see that and get some perspective and get some time away would definitely do her some well. So I think that could be cool with that. Then at the end, just after Wally kind of decides to join, you know, Rip says, "Yeah, I'm glad you joined the team. I was hoping you were going to join the Legends." He tells Gideon to delete file 354Z, and he says, "I don't want Sarah finding this about Ava's past." I think that's really going to be interesting to see what that is. Obviously, that's going to come up at some point. Hopefully, we get that pretty soon. Maybe we don't have to wait too long for it, but it's really going to be fun to see that. And then we see that Mullis ends up taking over Sarah Dark, even though she still has Maya's totem type of thing. So that's really cool. I definitely can't wait to see where things go in the next episode. Now, the trailer for the next episode looks like it's going to involve a young version of Elvis, and that's going to be fun to see that. Hopefully they can use a lot of his songs. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like it's a young version of Elvis, who's maybe even, you know, in his like teens or something. So maybe it's, you know, just Elvis doing non-Elvis songs, you know. But it would be cool to see if he's already, you know, has some of his songs, or if they got the license for some of the Elvis songs. I think those would be cool. At least one or two by the end of the episode would be cool to see some of those going around throughout the theme, throughout the show. Would be great for them to do that, actually get some licensing. You know, why did they choose Elvis? Yes, he's a king of rock, and that would destroy rock and all that stuff. But I would think it would be cool to, if they had chose a celebrity, because they could have chose anyone in the history of music. Why did they choose Elvis? Did they get his license? Did they get the rights to use some of his music? I think that would be cool if they did that. I think they should, if they could have choose someone else, you know, all kinds of different. I mean, one of the Beatles members or the Beatles band, you know, get their music or get whatever. I think it would be cool. Hopefully they are able to get at least a couple of his songs, the rights to do that. That would be cool. But I'm hoping with having Flash join here, Kid Flash joining, hopefully they can use him. But it doesn't seem like the idea of stopping. It looks like the Darks are maybe infecting Elvis, and maybe his music is going to corrupt people. No, I don't know. I can't see any scenarios really too much out of that, how that would be useful to having a speedster around. It seems like something that the regular Legends could do that without Wally West, without having a Kid Flash around. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I would like to see them do more storylines where, like, oh yeah, that's cool. They're really going to need Wally West for that. But just stopping and, you know, fixing something with Elvis doesn't seem like something that's really going to need to do that. If they were stopping another war, if they were stopping, you know, I don't know, all kinds of different things, you know, it would be really cool to see that and see Wally West is, you know, how they would need Wally West. But I don't see on the surface until we see the episode how they're going to use how Wally West would be really needed for next week's episode. And that's when I'm disappointed for that. So I'm hoping that he gets used a lot, more than just kind of a little bit in here, because right now he doesn't have much in here. I like to see him used quite a bit, at least during the end, the fighting, or during the action scenes. I like to see the speedster around, because having him around brings it up a little bit more, and he's another one of their big guns who could do all kinds of stuff. I mean, they would have had to, at the end of this episode, to go find Ray, they would have had to search all around Berlin and all that stuff to find him, but yet they just drop Wally, and he finds him, and he picks him up. I think that's really cool, and they get to move on, and they can go a lot faster with doing things, because they don't have to, if someone gets lost in time, they don't have to search very much, because they just drop Wally around, he goes, finds him, picks him up and brings them back. I think that's great, and things kind of move on. We don't have episodes where people are just kind of like searching for people throughout the whole thing, waiting for them to bump into each other type of thing. So I think that's really going to be cool to see this and how they play with this. I definitely can't wait to see how we get to see Mullis and versus Speedster. Maybe we get Sarah Dark and Mullis and stuff. Maybe that's where, Wally West comes involved. I think that could really be cool. And seeing how that works, maybe get a scene later on with kind of Wally West and Damien Dark, and how can Damien Dark catch Wally? Is he fast enough to catch him? Maybe Wally, he learns to go even faster to push himself so that he's faster than Damien Dark. That would be cool. And seeing vice versa, is he faster than Mullis? With Sarah Dark's powers and the totem. Now that Mullis is in Sarah Dark again, she has the Maya's totem. How fast is he compared to Wally West? Now we know that Wally West is very fast. So I'm not mistaken. Last we saw him on The Flash when he was training last season with what's his name? I can't think of his name, but Dr. Wells, or one of the Wells. They were training to see how fast he was, actually Jesse's father, and he said that he was kind of almost faster than Barry, or almost as fast as Barry. So I think it's really going to be cool to see that and see how fast that means to go and do things, and maybe seeing some bullet time. Although I doubt we're going to see that, but it would be cool to see at least one episode before the end of the season where we're going bullet time with Kid Flash at his speed. Maybe seeing a tiny atom kind of flying around. And him doing different things and changing the course. I don't know, it would be really cool to see some sort of scene going on. And maybe when we get to see Damien Dark, and if we get to see Constantine back, which I'm not mistaken has been confirmed that he will be back before the end of the season, it would be cool to see some sort of bullet time with Wally West moving magic. If Damien Dark and Sarah Dark and Mullis and Constantine are all blasting each other, and Ray is blasting each other, and everyone's blasting each other, it would be cool to see Wally West go at his speed in a season finale, moving things around, moving magic so that it hits this person, hits that person, using this or using that. I think that could be really cool to see that and playing that around. And also with Barry learning his new power, although I don't think he's turned it. Barry has this new power on The Flash where he's able to kind of bring a person into the slow motion speed bubble, I guess, type thing, what you want to call it, where they're able to talk for like a second while everything has paused around him. I think that's really cool. Maybe they could play with that also on this. And I definitely can't wait to see when we bring Constantine back, to see him and Kid Flash teaming up, and how their combining of their powers could be really cool. If Kid Flash can learn that power, which he doesn't know I don't think at this point he doesn't know that power can even exist. It even has that power, that his speedster can even do that. I mean, Barry didn't even know that till he accidentally figured it out, and I don't think he's seen Wally since then, so he hasn't been able to tell Wally about this new power. So it would be cool to see that. Now maybe we could get, something and say, oh, what's his face? Cisco texted me about this new power type of thing, because in the next episode of The Flash, from when I'm not mistaken, Cisco does join Barry in the paused time moment as they try and stop a nuke or something like that. So it would make sense that maybe Wally's been, maybe Cisco has texted Wally about this new power. Oh, Barry learned his new power to do this type thing because he's excited about that. That would make sense for Cisco to do that. So who knows? It would be cool to see that. Definitely can't wait to see where things go. And hopefully we can get Constantine back, and maybe Wally West can convince him to join the team and become a permanent member of the Legends. And I think that would be really cool. And it would help Constantine looking out for different magic stuff and seeing them throughout that. So it would be cool to see. Definitely can't wait to see, and I'm glad to see that Wally West is now part of the Legends. He's now a member of the Legends of Tomorrow. So I definitely can't wait to see that and see where things go for next week. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. What do you think about it, and where do you think things are going, and what song of Elvis would you hope to see in next week's episode? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.